It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and it's time for us now to have a look at Kaniva Leeor. What's going on with these guys? We know they're joining Horsham and Districts football this year. Plenty of lads on the track, and Jason Chipper Gordon joins me on the line to go through it. How are you, Chipper?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you, Judge?
Going well, thanks, mate. How are the boys shaping up?
Oh, we've had tremendous numbers at training. We've had over 50 different players train. So that's a great thing. And our new coach, Ashley Grant, brought a lot of enthusiasm to the show. Of course, some of the older listeners might remember Ashley Grant. Snuffy, as his nickname is, Snuff. And he won a couple of Virgo medals back in the 90s. And so he's been out of the game for a while, but he's just taken back to it like all those legends, like a duck to water, mate.
Beautiful. Chipper, what have the numbers been like on the track all up?
We had one night where we had 19 blokes, and other than that, we haven't had less than 22 or 3, which is a bit of a club record because guys around here don't train till, holidays and that after harvest have been going on.
That makes sense to me. What about recruiting? How have you gone this year, and what sort of path have you taken with your recruiting, given that, of course, coming out of KNC, a lot of SA boys from in the city would come down and play for you boys, and they loved it down there. I've heard nothing but good reports from them. But given with the border situation and whatnot, have you taken a different tact with the recruiting this year? We
really have had to. Like, as much as we've had great success and a lot of good times with the boys from Adelaide, and affectionately known here as the Adelaide boys, obviously, and all those guys, we said, right, we'd love to have you back, but we're not going to. We can't risk the borders closing at any stage. It's a huge investment the club makes in both time and financially to bring players into the club. So we've been looking elsewhere. We've made a few signings, but we've kept most of them reasonably close to our chest, and we've got a couple of pros about to sign coming out of Darwin, and they live in Victoria. So that's been our major thing is we've said we need to have a Victorian address to play at the Kaniva Cougars.
Fair enough, and I can understand entirely why, but let's look forward. When will your season start, and who will you be playing in round one?
We played Kalkee at home here at Cougar Park the week after Easter. Look, personally, I wish it was next week so that we could just be back into playing footy again. And, I think we've recruited 15 new players to the club so far, and we've got a few more signings to come. Just to get all those guys on the ground and finally get to playing again will be a real achievement for the whole community. It's been a long haul getting back to playing footy.
Yeah, no doubt. So what about the girls as well? Because we know your footy club and your netball club are really tight, always have been. And the girls, I know, are pretty excited about getting back on the court as well. But do you know how they've been shaping up, mate?
Really, really well. Well, they were going to only field 3 teams in the HCNFL, but they are probably going to have to field a 4th one. Last night there was 30 girls on the court, so 30 is 10 to a side, so I don't reckon they'll be doing that. Like us, we've got no under-17s in the area. There's only a couple of netball girls and a couple of Colts footballers, and that is a real big issue in our footy. We've got plenty of numbers for under-14s and under-15s and under-13s netball, but under-17s is just a huge, huge issue for us.
So how do we go about getting you guys some more numbers in those junior grades? Is it a case of joining together with another club to try and put together a group of kids that can at least get a kick every week? Because if you're struggling and there's another couple of other clubs struggling out there and you've got forfeits, and nobody wants that. Obviously, you just want the kids that are of age playing against kids their own age, right?
We need to have a really serious big think tank about this and take my Kaniva hat off and start thinking about how we're going to do this in the future. There is kids out there that are going to be good footballers and just being put off because we're playing these little Mickey Mouse games and stuff like that. And then they got to play against the big towns. They've got heaps of players. I haven't got a perfect solution. I'd love to have, because I would have already rung you and told you about it. But the thing that we have to do is we need to make this competitive football for those boys and girls in that age group. And perhaps we just take off our hat of leagues and all that sort of thing and worry about how we're going to promote football, because we all know in the country we lose so many kids to the city. As soon as they're out of high school, they're off to university and stuff like that, and that's been happening for a long, long time. But the thing that we need to do is make sure that the kids who are going to stay here or are going to return here to live, that they are interested in football and netball.
So, Chipper, with the youngsters, is it a case of maybe looking at some rules from outside the box? I know in some instances they reduce numbers on the field, and that's, I guess, not necessarily outside the box, but maybe they look at playing these junior games, the Colt games, on a night where all of the teams play together at a particular venue, so that you can chop and change and try and get some evenness about who plays where. I'm not sure. I'm just spitballing some ideas.
Yeah, same. And, you only have to look at how successful Padua and Lucendale have been in the Cane TFL. I think it'll be 6 years their junior clubs have been amalgamated. Yep. I think that, like, here there's 3 clubs that could amalgamate their under-17s together. Probably the most common thing you hear is, I've got the best interest of football at heart. Well, if we have, we're going to have to make some sacrifices. It's going to be some volunteers that aren't at a home game or an away game. There's going to be some things that aren't perfect about it, because we're starting off with an imperfect problem.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Away from the situation with the senior Colts, what about the real little ones? How are things looking for the little tackers out there? Because we know getting kids to play footy and netball at 16, 17 these days is tough as it is. But if you don't get them at that very young age, you won't get them at 15, 16, 17 either. True
story. Look, we've got another club legend, Daniel Simpson, coaching our the truck goes past. Our under-14s, and he had first training run last night. He had 21 or 2 on the track. And if you ever want to see what makes footy great, just go and watch those kids at training and their enthusiasm and how it's the most important thing. You know, for us old guys, it's just look at them and you think, geez, that's why I love this game so much. And they're so keen and all ready to go and tearing around the track. I mean, yeah, that makes you think that I can't wait till that first game against Kalkee here. I'm hoping for a good day, nice balmy autumn day, and no COVID restrictions would be fantastic.
Well, what do you know about the Kalkee boys, mate? Have you done your reconnaissance yet? Have you checked them out? Have you got any idea what to expect?
Kalkee will be fairly strong. I'd expect them to be a top 5 side in the Horsham District Football and Netball League. They obviously have the Kalkee is situated just out of Horsham itself. It's only 10 kilometres out of Horsham, so they've got a pretty active recruiting ground there in Horsham, and have over a period of time been a successful side there. Last few years before COVID, were right up around the mark, and they're telling me they've recruited fairly well in the Horsham as well. It'll be a good benchmark to see where we are, because not many clubs of Kaniva, town of Kaniva's size of 700 people, lose 20 players from one season to the next.
It's an extraordinary tale, this one. Well done on the recruiting. Well done on getting the lads out on the track, mate. And before we let you go, when it comes to the first game of the year, the home game, I know you'd be excited and up and about. How many people are you allowed to have through the gate? Do you know that yet?
Well, last week it was about 1,000, but I was here. Mr. Andrews has made some changes today. So I just want to know who's the one who's going to count them.
Well, I'm assuming you're not putting your hand up, Chipper.
No, mate. No, I've got enough trouble counting sheep, mate.
Fair enough, mate. Well, we'll talk more about that next time. But, hey, all the best for the season, Eb. Obviously, we'll check in on a regular basis with you and keep up to date with how the boys are tracking, and look forward to following you guys through season 2020-2021 in Horsham and Districts footy.
Thanks very much for your time. We really appreciate all the support we've had from the community, and especially our old mates in the KNCFL. You know, they've been sad to see us go, and we're making new friends in the Horsham District League, but there's nothing like old friends, and we had a lot of good times there. So we're really grateful to all the support we've got out of all the football community to make this change.
Good on you, Chipper, and all the best, mate.
Thank you.